Alright, welcome guys. Today I'm doing another video game impression. I haven't done one of these in like, I don't know, forever. It's a good round number for how long I haven't done one. I used to do these a lot for like WiiWare demos and stuff like that, then I just kind of gradually stopped. But last week I picked up a game, and if you know anything about gaming, you probably know what game I'm talking about. And if you can read, you know what game I'm talking about already. Xenoblade Chronicles for the Nintendo Wii. Of course, came out April 6th in North America. It's been out for a year now, or about a year, or something like that, for Japan, and Europe got it last year as well. So it's really a 2011 game, but 2012 for us North Americans. And I thought that I would make one of these videos because I haven't done that in a while. You know, to give a little information about Xenoblade Chronicles. To start off, really, let's start with the case actually. It's actually a rather interesting case. You got your booklet, which is, but the thing about the case itself is that if you take the insert out, normal insert, you got Xenoblade, blah blah blah. On the reverse side is actually something that looks really nice. Nintendo of America had a little competition to where you could vote for a reverse insert for the game case. And this comes with all the the American version of the game, and you can just slide that right in. And I think there was another choice I would have rather had. I forget what they all look like, but honestly, this one looks rather nice. It was a nice overview of the main cast, and then it gives you a view of one of the titans you're on. The thing about the game, going into a little bit of the story, is before the events of the game there was nothing, of course, and then there's these two titans that appear, I guess is how they said it in the game, and they started fighting. Like the two titans started dueling, and eventually they basically killed each other. Their life force they drained each other's life forces. There was no one winner. And so years and years and years later, the two titans, plant life and species have grown on these titans. And on one of them, the Bionis, is where the Homs and the High Entia live. They are your human characters, they're like the ones that are more human. And then on the other Titan, the Mechon, which are a robot, I guess, species, have developed. Now, I will say that I'm only 20 hours into the game, so it's going to have a little bit of spoilers, not too much, I hope. That's something like, what I just said is pretty basic overview, that they just tell you that right off the bat. I mean, it's nothing special. Although, these two titans are where the game takes place, so... Your main character, the main character and hero of the RPG, his name is Shulk, and he comes from Colony 9, which is one of the two remaining Homs colonies. The Homs have been under attack by the Mechons, and there was a last stand by a group earlier. They throw you in to this one fight where a character named Dunban is fighting off some mechans, and he has this sword called the Monado, which is the only sword that seems to be able to damage them. And it seems he's the only one that's able to really control it. He can't fully control it, like his arm seems to be pretty damaged after, fighting them for a while. But he's the only one that can actually somewhat wield the sword without it going crazy. So, of course, they're successful, and there's 2 remaining colonies now, Colony 6 and Colony 9. Shulk's from Colony 9, and the story picks up around him. That's when you start controlling him. He's doing research on the Monado because Dunban can't use it. His arm's shot, and he promised his sister that he wouldn't. Well, a little bit into the game, and the Mechon attack Colony 9. And Shulk ends up picking up at one point the Monado, and he's able to use it far better than Dunban was ever. So, of course, he's the true wielder of the Monado. One of the things that happens is Shulk receives visions. Kind of weird, I know, but he's able to see the future, one presented future, and then it usually involves him getting killed or someone getting hurt. And so, in his mind, he's trying to change that future. So he can use this he can predict enemies' movements and, dodge them. And this also correlates into the gameplay as well, where at times when an enemy is using a fairly powerful attack, he will have a vision, and you get to see what happens. And then it's up to you to try and do something about it. Like, warn a party member, or use one of the many powers that the Monado has and stop it. Overall, from what I played, like I said, 20 hours into the game, the story is actually really, really interesting, I think. I am at Arid Sea. I have been inside the capital of the Hyantia, which is another race, and, it's pretty big. And, the game's big. I don't know how much more of the game I've had. From what I've heard, it's about 70 to 90 hours, which means I've got a while to go. But, from a story perspective, the game's really good. And since I covered a little bit about the gameplay, I guess I'll go into a little bit more about it. It's, of course, a party system. You get up to 3 battle members that can fight, and then you have reserve members. Right now I have, of course, 3 battle members, and I think 2 reserves, though earlier I had 3 reserves. Normally I stick with Shulk because he's got all those special Monado powers and stuff, so he's really good to use. And then I usually use some other characters that have healing abilities. The thing about it is you can only control one character at a time, which, you can warn other characters, or you can combine when you use a chain attack. You use all the characters that are in the fight, but overall, you're mainly just using one character. You can switch out who you use, so you don't have to use Shulk if you don't want to. But I normally use him, so that way I have control over a lot of the more powerful, helpful stuff. But the AI for the other 2, or sometimes one character that is in the battle, are actually really smart. Whenever they can heal, they heal. I guess I should actually explain something. The battle system plays like an MMO, in that when you actually start an attack, you lock on, you select your monster, kind of, and then you say, okay, start attack. You're going to start attacking when you're close, when your character is within range. So, like, Shulk uses the Monado, which is a sword. So he has to be pretty much right next to the character to be able to attack them. Well, I have another character on my team that uses a rifle. So she doesn't have to be as close, to attack. So there's the auto attack, which there's nothing to do about that besides start attacking, and it just auto attacks your target. And then you have special abilities, like besides just the Monado is just has some abilities. You have a lot more different abilities. So there's like some like that are do more damage, like one called backslash for Shulk, and basically you if you're behind the enemy, you do more damage to it, and it's a pretty strong attack even if you're attacking it in front. But then there's also some that heal. There's some that do buffers. Like boosts your talent axe, which is the special axe that you can select, and they have cooldown times and stuff, just like anything else. Like if you're just playing an MMO, but it's not an MMO, which I think is really interesting. Getting past that, and it's actually really solid. Past just the MMO style thing, there's skill trees that after a while you start unlocking skills like help. Reduces cooldown time, increases experience that you can get, puts that you can wield medium armor, increases the auto heal rate and stuff like that. There's just you can start linking those with other characters to make it like your team more powerful. And then there's gems that you can craft that'll increase stats even more. There's just a lot going on in it. Also, there's the boss fights are actually really fun. Some of them are really fun. Some of them are actually really, really challenging. The nice thing about the game is if you die and you have some, like, there's a party gauge, essentially. There's a party gauge, and if you have, there's 3 bars, and when you have all 3 bars filled, you can do a chain attack. But you can also use one of the bars to warn a party member, or if they've been essentially killed, knocked out, you can revive them. So as long as you have like 1 bar, you can, and if you die, as long as you have 1 bar, one of your party members will actually come by and revive you, which is nice. It's not instant death, unless you don't have something in your chain attack bar. There's a lot of stuff that increases when your party members are, relationship is better. So you want to really start using the characters that you want to use as soon as you get them, like when you find that niche, because they'll be able to link more skills with each other, and you can craft the gems a lot better, a lot faster too. And then you can see these special cutscenes too. They're called Heart to Hearts, which I've seen one of them so far, because I haven't. A lot of them you can't see right away because you don't have all the characters that will be in your party, so you can't see them. But it's actually really interesting. Going into side quests. So the game is about 70 to 90 hours from what I've heard, without side quests. There is about, I've heard from anywhere from 480 to 800 side quests available to play in the game. There is a lot. Now, a lot of them are go kill 5 creatures, go collect 6 items, go find this. A lot of them are like that. So they're not that big, but they give you pretty nice rewards, money, and experience points sometimes, and sometimes nice items actually. The nice thing about them, just because of how many there are, they most of them end auto, like they just auto clear. So when you get like when you beat your last enemy, you don't have to run back to find the person at a specific time. A lot of it's time based, and you can change time, but a lot of it auto does it, so you don't have to go back and find this person again. It's just done. It's just auto completed. Some of them that are story based or with specific characters, some characters won't be called Colony 9 resident or Colony 6 resident or random stranger merchant that's standing in a swamp. The ones that actually have names, you will have to come back and talk to them because their quests are a little bit more involved. Like one of them that I did early on in the game, you can do is help repair a watch for someone. Shulk is a technology geek, so of course, someone's going to ask him, "Hey, can you fix this watch for me?" And when he finally gets around to fixing it, and he has to return the watch, of course, to the person. So, some of them are a little bit more involved like that. Go deliver this to a specific person or help me out. Anyway, there's just a lot of side quests to do, which is nice, I think. If you like side quests, you're going to have plenty to do. Some of them are, it's hell to find every single side quest. Because you have to be somewhere at a specific time. Luckily, you have control over time. You can set it to whatever hour you want, and that helps. A lot of them, some of them, if you progress too far into the story, you can't do. But then again, there's a lot of them that aren't like that, which you can wait till you beat the story and do. I haven't spent too much time on the story, like side quests. If I complete it while I'm, playing, it's good. It's great. If there's a break in the story, sometimes if they are timed side quests, depending on what it is, if it's like go find 80 million of these or do something for me, some of them I'm not bothered to do. Some of them I am. It just really depends for me. But, like I said, if you're into side quests, this game has you covered. Outside of side quests and story and more gameplay type stuff, I guess the environments, there's a lot of different places to explore, and really overall, but in terms of graphics, I think it looks pretty, pretty good. Cutscenes look nice. There's plenty of cutscenes if you're into that type of stuff. But there's also plenty of playing, too. But one thing I do have about the graphics is sometimes it looks a little pixelated. Specifically eyes. I have something about eyes. I don't know. Like, the eyes sometimes will look weird to me. It's just, of course there's glitches, like sometimes, hair will go through things or something. But, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, to me. Voice acting, well, it's British for the North American version. It's actually, they just gave us the British version. That's actually all it is. It's all British, which I think is funny, and it's pretty cool to me. But if you don't like British-speaking people, well, okay. I don't mind the voice acting at all. But the soundtrack, oh my gosh, it's a lot of it's really good. A lot of the battle themes I think are really good. When you're fighting something that's a little bit stronger than you should be fighting, a lot of the time, that's some pretty kick-ass music too. That's some pretty kick-ass music. There's a lot of just music in there that I like. Overall, from what I played, again, 20 hours into the game, so I barely scratched the surface for this game, but it's really fun. It's really addictive. Like, if I didn't have school, I'd be playing it as much as I could. If you have a Wii and you really want something that's good, buy this game. Like, if you can find a copy, buy this game. It is worth your money. If you don't know anything about it, I highly suggest it. I hope this video actually helps people decide if they want to buy the game or not. You know, that's all I have at the moment. I might do another one of these when I'm later on in the story, so you can get a nice comparison from the story wise. But gameplay also moves. It's always adapting and changing. It's always building on top of itself, which is actually really interesting, I think. And I think about maybe when I'm 50 hours into the game, I'll do another one of these maybe. We'll see. This has been KJ, HG585. Most of you know me as KJHG53. But I'll be signing off. See ya.